Good evening, and we are now in the final stretch to make your vote count with ballots due in 21 hours by 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. It's also the end of the campaign trail for candidates. The three women running for Oregon governor have already made history just by being in the race.
Catherine Cook shows us how Betsy Johnson, Tina Kotek, and Christine Drazen spent the last day before Election Day.
In her final campaign rally Monday night, Christine Drazen went with music from the first Top Gun, a nod to the last time Oregon had a Republican governor, and a nod to what she hopes will be her turn at a sequel.
Everybody said Republicans can't win in Oregon. Everywhere I went, people said it can't be done. You know what? Tomorrow, we're gonna do it.
Drazen started the day in Klamath Falls before stopping in Eugene, then her hometown of Canby. She's fully aware the polls show her neck and neck with Democrat Tina Kotek.
It's close because they're defying their own past behaviors. It hasn't been close in the past, it's close now because Oregonians are saying, I'm going to do something different.
For her part, Kotek didn't schedule any in-person events Monday.
Hey everybody, it's Tina Kotek here.
But she thanked supporters on Twitter.
Thank you for texting people. Thank you for talking to your friends and your families and everybody in your networks about Election Day, how important it is to move our state forward. Good morning.
Unaffiliated candidate Betsy Johnson started Monday at Bison Coffee House in Northeast Portland. That's the shop that was vandalized after agreeing to host a community event with police officers. For Johnson, it was one of her last shots at appealing to voters for support and civility.
My request is that, first of all, people vote, be part of the process. Secondly, regardless of the outcome, let's behave like Oregonians. I think that's incredibly important. And you don't take out your difference of political opinions by vandalizing somebody's business, as was this place, badly vandalized.
Portlanders spent Monday dropping off their ballots.
I'm doing my bit for democracy.
Be it via election drop box or mail. Both are valid methods of voting. Mail-in ballots just need to be postmarked by Election Day to count.
I think mail-in voting is great and a really equitable way to set up a system. I was just late this year.
It was just convenient to drop it off today. I think it's going to be close.
That much is clear. But if Betsy Johnson's making post-election predictions,
I think my expectations mirror the expectations of Oregonians is get those damn ads off the TV.
have we been running election ads? A quick look at voter turnout shows that in Multnomah County, around 34% of ballots have been returned, and in Clark County, voter turnout is around 36%. Both are a little lower than expected for the day before the election. Laurel.
Oh, Catherine, you are so funny. I haven't noticed any ads.
Oh, no,
have
just
you?
those 3.5-minute commercial breaks, right? Thank you, Catherine.
So if you're one of those people who still needs to vote, you do have until 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, in both Oregon and Washington, you can drop off your ballot at a drop box up until that time, 8 p.m. You can also still mail your ballots, but they have to be postmarked, not just mailed tomorrow. So you want to double check the hours of the post office or the mailbox you're using. If your Dropbox site gets busy, officials point out, yes, you will still get to vote as long as you are in line.
If you are in a ballot Dropbox line at 8 o'clock p.m., we're going to determine the end of that line, and we're going to make sure that you get to vote your ballot. Your ballot will be deposited.
Now, if you haven't received or you're having issues with your ballot, maybe damage, you can still visit your county elections office on Tuesday to try to resolve that.
We've been talking a lot about the big races, governor, close congressional seats, and so on. Though tonight we're taking a closer look at the Oregon House and Senate races. And there's one big reason this should be on your radar. Taxes. Under Oregon law, the state house or Senate must get 60% of the members to vote yes in order to move a tax measure forward. That is what is called a super majority. Now, Democrats have one right now in both chambers, though, as Pat Doris explained tonight on The Story, they are also on the edge of losing it.
Let's take a look first at the Oregon House, which has 60 members, all of them up for election right now. Democrats have the majority with 37 members. Republicans have 23. That means as long as they are unified, Democrats can vote through any tax increase they want without a single yes vote from the Republicans. But if Democrats lose 2 seats, the supermajority disappears, and it's much harder to pass such measures. Here's the Oregon Senate. Democrats have 18 members, Republicans 10. And there are 2 independents. That's the gray space that we're showing you there. The 3/5 magic number here is 18. If Senate Democrats lose a single seat, their supermajority vanishes. I talked the possibility of change with Oregon lobbyist Patrick Singh. He thinks it is likely, at least in the Oregon Senate.
Almost certainly. Currently, with the Democrats having a supermajority in both chambers, I would say just the numbers we've seen, folks we're talking to, the momentum on the Senate side, they're bound to lose the supermajority there, which is they have it by 1 vote. So there's 3 or 4 competitive seats right now in the Senate. All you have to do, if you're the Republican side, is win one of those, and you've taken away the supermajority.
That is a huge deal, and one we will be watching closely tomorrow. That same math holds true for the Oregon House. Remember, Democrats only have a 2-seat supermajority there, and it is possible that could disappear tomorrow.
On the House side, I think the Democrats will lose a couple seats. That's both sides of folks that I'm talking to are kind of acknowledging that. So they'll most likely maintain a majority, but whether or not they will have their 36 needed for supermajority revenue raising measures, that's still very much up in the air. It's going to be a tough haul. There's 7 competitive seats. They'd essentially need to win, 5 or 6 out of the 7 to be able to keep that.
See? Lots of power up for grabs with tomorrow's election. What happens in the Oregon legislative races will set the scene for at least the next 2 years of Oregon policy, the laws and taxes that can or cannot be passed. It will also determine how easy it is for the new governor to push their priorities through the state house.
And we will be watching tomorrow. And today, nonprofits that work closely with people who are homeless help them navigate through the voting process. Street Roots, based in Portland's Old Town area, is one of those groups that has helped about 100 people living on the streets to register to vote this year. Major issues for those on the street include affordable housing, access to health care, and decriminalizing homelessness. However, some people living on the streets are choosing not to vote altogether.
Oftentimes, their voices are intentionally diffused for a plethora of reasons, but it should never be that way. And they're community members just like the rest of us, regardless of housing status.
Yeah, I plan on voting in this election. Right now, I've been viewing over all the candidates, what they have to say.
Well, I don't vote. I just hope that whoever is voting and whoever wins, I hope they made their good judgment.
Many people who are homeless we talk with say while they understand the importance of voting, it's definitely not their top priority. They're focused on basic needs like finding food and shelter.
Well, there's a lot at stake, so be sure to check out our online election guide at kgw.com. We've made it easy. Just text the word election to the number on your screen, 503-226-5088, and we will text you back with a link that includes our comprehensive coverage of the local races and ballot measures. There are a lot of them.
And we're following some breaking news where thousands of people are without power right now in Portland. This is a look at the latest numbers from the PGE website. More than 11,000 customers are impacted. The 2 biggest outages are in the St. John's neighborhood and in Southeast Portland in the South Tabor and Foster Powell neighborhoods. More than 14,000 customers are in the dark. We found a power line down near 52nd and Holgate. We also talked with a market owner worried about the impact of the outage.
My ice cream, you can see it's getting melted, and there are no customers from around 6 p.m. Yeah, we are facing problems.
Fortunately, less than an hour ago, that business owner got his power back on, so electricity is slowly being restored. As for the cause, PGE lists it as storm-related, but it's unclear how, as there was not any wind this evening, so we're working to learn more, but I'm glad to see the ice cream was saved.